All right, my name is Sean Webb. I'm 32 years old and I come to you from the United States by way of Arlington, Texas.
My name is Paul-Alexandre Fournier. I'm from Montreal in Canada. I'm right now in Korean age. I'm 35 and international 33.
Ooh, man, I got plenty. All right, so actually this one was about 6-7 months ago, the last time I was up here. So I'm at a subway station, I'm talking to a cute lady, and everything was going okay, and then all of a sudden I feel a shove. I'm like, ooh! Like, who was that? There's an old guy, he just pushed me out of the way. He at least said excuse me in English, but that happens a lot here. Like, people in this country, they have the word excuse me, shalom-nida, but they don't use it, especially the old people. They just push people just to get them out of the way. And what I find baffling is the fact that, well, whenever I say excuse me to people, like older Korean people, that say, oh, you're so respectful, you're so very nice. But they don't do the same to us. That's one thing.
On the phone, people don't really say bye in Korea, which is very different from out in the West. In the West, it's really, you have to really say like a clear bye. Otherwise, if you just hang up, it's really insulting.
Another thing is the fact that I walk around, Koreans, they don't cover up their mouth. Y'all guys do not cover up your mouths whenever you cough. It's like, it's like, oh my God, cover your mouth. I don't want to get sick.
Older people dynamic, completely different. So old people own society, kind of. So in the street or whatever, or when you see them at the grocery or even at the gym, they feel really entitled. They feel like they have the power to just like interrupt whatever you're doing and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of like the game. But in exchange, if you have friends that are older, they're going to pay for you or do whatever. So that's kind of like part of the deal. That's quite different. Because usually like in the West, like respect is earned. So even if you're like an older person, I'm not necessarily going to respect you because you're old. But in Korea, it's by default, you know. But at the same time, it's kind of like an exchange. So that's okay. One last thing that's different, but I don't know if it's related to Korean culture for that, but it's like Seoul is a mega city with, if you include the whole surrounding area, it's 25 million people, so you got to take in like human dynamics are very different in that state. Let's say like where I'm from, Montreal, is like about 3 million people, so we have a lot of personal space, you know, we don't bump into each other, and it's less crammed, so there's less stress and pressure all the time, and so people are less competitive. But in Korea, because it's a mega city, and I expect this to be the same in New York or Tokyo or those kind of big cities, Hong Kong, ultra competitive because there's so many humans per square inch, you know, highly competitive, and because of that also relationships come and go much faster, connections come and go, and that kind of stuff.
Only time I ever use a public restroom in Korea is if I'm like going to a hotel or if I find a really upscale cafe. Like, I hate that most public restrooms in this country have windows and they open them up in the winter time, which makes no sense other than just to get fresh air, you know. Like, if I gotta do number 2, I hate that.
Of course. Actually, if you want to network in Korea, usually you must drink alcohol. So it's the best way to make new friends in Korea is go out with drinks with them. You know, if you do the hanjan and grab some soju, it's the best. Somek, yeah. Really the best way. Well, for me, it doesn't apply because I'm not affiliated to any school in Korea, so I'm completely out of those networks, which are super strong in Korea. Like if I was younger and I was doing studies, for sure, if I could do like a Korean university, would be amazing because then I could just like ask people in my network and really strong. But for networking in Korea, because I'm a foreigner that could speak some Korean, it's actually very easy to network. Very easy. If you learn Korean, very easy to network because Koreans really respect and enjoy interacting with foreigners that could speak Korean, so they open the doors way easily. So let's say like I have connections with low-level celebrities just because I speak Korean, you know, so it's really that easy, yeah. Lots of yagun in Korea. A lot of times past 6, they are forced to stay even if they don't have work, just because their boss is still present. So they're gonna just kind of pretend to work and they're kind of stuck at work depending on the situation. So dating is really different. In the West, not always, but a lot of times it's kind of standard to date multiple people at the same time, but here it's really more like one at a time. So I tend to see that usually Westerners will date for like a couple months and then decide, okay, I like this girl or I like this guy, and then they become boyfriend, girlfriend. But in Korea, usually it's much faster. Let's say in less than a week, it's like, oh my God, he's my boyfriend, she's my girlfriend, and then they break up fast too. So it's a bit different.
I mean, yeah, that is true. What Paul said is true, and it also varies. In fact, there's an old song, but there's a song by this old singing group called the Stylistics, and it's called "Break Up to Make Up," and the lyrics go, "Break up to makeup, that's all we do. First you love me, then you hate me. That's a game for fools. And I see that a lot here in Korea, more so than the States. Like, yes, a lot of people, they get together fast and then they break up fast. And then sometimes they might even get back together. And then they break up and say, okay, I don't want anything to do with you anymore. So that blew my mind. And even with regards to that, when you want to date with someone, a girl, she'll say, yeah, sure, I'll date you. Let's meet here at this time. I've got stood up so many times because of that, because people here are too afraid to say, no, I don't want to date you. But yeah.
Oh man, comedy in Korea is way different. That's another topic. I have a video for that, but that I'm gonna put out soon. But real quickly, sarcasm and this kind of like negative type humor or darker humor is way less present in Korea. So you gotta be careful around that. Sexual humor, I would not recommend at all. I tried it a couple times, and it's like people are not really comfortable with that. Aside from that, it's more slapstick stuff or maybe social manipulation or like kind of prank type stuff does work really well in Korea. Otherwise from that, but in day-to-day social interactions, it's the comedy when you just like you're meeting people and just new stuff, it's the same as everywhere. Just enjoy life.
I hate Korean comedy. I really do. Like in American comedy with black comedy, we're pretty explicit in what we say, and sometimes you have to be a little bit smart to get some of the jokes. And delivery is important. Korean comedy, the delivery is all the same, and I find it boring. I find it very, very, very boring. The jokes. Again, I can't get into it. I mean, some of the jokes are okay, but a lot of it seems either very childish to me or I don't get it because of cultural aspects, but a lot of it, they just doesn't have that energy behind it like you would get from people like Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor, Chris Rock, those comedians, or even Jack Black. Okay, that was funny. That is funny. Okay. I will say this though. Infinite Challenge is funny, and Weekly Idol. Actually, let me rephrase that. The physical comedy in Korea is top notch. Is way better than it is in America. But when it comes to like spoken comedy, I can't get to it. Like when I watch Infinite Challenge, Weekly Idol, or Running Man, that comedy from there is very, very funny. It is. But the thing that really makes me dislike it a lot is also like there's so many graphics that show up everywhere when people say stuff, and I know why, because everybody in Korea has a certain way of speaking. So is to help out people that can't hear, but a lot of that is super distracting, and it's like it takes away from what the actors, what the comedians are doing. Not like how it is in America. Like I love stand-up comedy. I love it. My mentors were stand-up comedians, so yeah. So here's my tip for you guys. If you're young and you come into Korea and an old person pushes you, please resist the urge to fight them. Because I know you might want to, especially if you get triggered very easily, but resist the urge to fight them. Because people don't say excuse me, you have to accept that. But some old people are very nice. If you just say hello to them, they say hello back and they might give you some snack. Just know that this is a very quick culture, so especially in Seoul, everyone pushes each other, so you just gotta move out the way and just go with them.
Hey guys, depending on how long you're planning on staying in Korea, I highly recommend you try to learn some Korean. Honestly, if you learn, it sounds like a lot, but if you just learn like 200 words, which theoretically possible to learn, let's say in 2 weeks, it's going to really change your life in Korea. Just think about in English what would be, or in French or whatever, what's the most common words you say all the time, like eat, sleep, go, do, and you learned a couple of the grammar patterns around it, and your life is going to be 100 times better. And Koreans are it just makes them more comfortable, and they're way happier and all that stuff. Aside from that, go out and have drinks with Koreans, and it's amazing, and they'll help you out. Very easy. If they like you, they're going to introduce you to all their friends, and you could get more and more, meet more and more people. So very, very easy to network in Korea. So just put a little effort into learning Korean, and it's going to really change a lot. And learn the drinking customs, how to pour, all that stuff, the respect, all that kind of stuff. You do it, and life is sick.